Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for March 21st and 22nd, 2020. How are you doing? Wow, the energies are so intense and so powerful, and what's going on in the world. And the energy, the message right now is for these soul groups is to focus on the light that's coming in. Let the light in. So it seems to be happening amidst this world chaos energy that's going on, and perhaps why this whole occurrence has been planned for this time. It looks like more and more evidence that this bioweapon release has been planned for this particular time. And why would that be? Throughout time, I've been shown in past life readings that at times of influx of light energies, as ascension energies, is when the control energies, the negative forces, will try to create trauma, disaster, catastrophe in order to hold back this spiritual evolution. So it's really important for us to understand that the timing of this is very specific. Now, if we can set aside for a moment the energies of what's going on around us in the manifest world and tap in, we can notice and realize that there's huge expansion energies coming in right now. This Mars, Jupiter, Pluto conjunction is off the charts with beautiful, expansive spiritual energies, our spiritual ascension landing home. So it's a really interesting time that I've been keep talking about, where these souls are called to be present in this energy, to put your attention on this. Let the world have its experience right now. For so many lifetimes, you have been carrying heavy energies of the collective. Now, this is the part of the shift that's going on for these soul groups, is that you're that we're having to come out, we're being asked to come out of the distortions of the Piscean age around martyrdom, sacrifice, self-sacrifice. And it feels a little weird because it's like, wow, I'm feeling like better than I felt in a long time. And yet all these people are in panic, fear, and hysteria and not feeling very good. And so it's showing us very clearly our responsibility contracts to humanity, to groups of souls, to our ancestry. And yet, if you just give yourself a few minutes in these expansive energies, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can go back into that dense energy of that constricted reality, you know? And this is where the message is coming in with the Uranus and Taurus and sextile to the North Node. Taurus has an energy around our self-worth and our value. The North Node in Cancer is about receiving and feeling nurtured and bringing in compassion and nurturing into our life. And the North Node is about how are we going to get to where we're going. So we're talking about receiving, nurturing, and feeling worthy of nurturing. And that's what these energies seem to be doing for the souls that are willing to receive them right now. And that's the energy, the message. It's like receive, receive, receive. Receive yourself back. Receive the energies that want to support you and hold you. I just am hearing all these stories of amazing synchronicities and messages coming through, people feeling guided and held by the universe in a way that they haven't felt in so long. And so it's really important to allow this for ourselves. And Uranus sextile the North Node is about this. It's also trine the South Node. So it's a harmonious relationship to both the past and the future that has to do with our self-worth. Now, the message that's coming in around this has to do with the fact that one thing I've been shown about these soul groups and why you're drawn to this work, this has to do with all these experiences you've had before you ever came to Earth evolution, right? So you've gone through numerous evolutions, perhaps gone through spiritual ascension numerous times. Of course, we're doing it differently this time because we're staying in our same body and we're transforming our body and transforming the earth. But it's really important for you to know and tap into, which is interesting, right? Because the world has been telling you for lifetimes, and the people around you have been telling you for lifetimes that you don't fit in, you're not worthy, you're next to nothing, you can't function in this world. And really, you're the one who has the codes, who really knows what's going on, even though you don't know, right? But there is a memory inside of you around spiritual ascension. And we're coming to this place of facing that that's what's happening right now. Yes, there's this other story going on in the world, but it's actually about spiritual ascension. And finally, this energy has been stopped and thwarted back in Atlantean time. Perhaps 100,000 years ago, we've been on this journey. And it's interesting with Saturn about to move into Aquarius. And I feel I've kind of got hints and clues around Atlantean time being the Aquarian age, because we were working with very high level technology beyond, well, we do have this technology now, but we don't know about it, right? It's being kept from us and used against us very deliberately. But there's this energy of revisiting. It's like, in order to get into the Aquarian age, we have to heal the issues and the energies of Atlantean time. So it's like on the table. And Saturn moving into Aquarius, which happens, when is that again? That's tomorrow. And so here we are in the edge of going back into this Aquarian age. And can we resolve those issues of Atlantean time? Let go of those old stories. And maybe the reason why these souls have been playing out the martyrdom and the self-sacrifice, the distortions of the Piscean age, taking on all this heavy collective energy of humanity, wanting to heal humanity, coming back again and again, lifetime after lifetime, bringing your light, bringing your love, bringing your healing, and then being rejected, maybe even persecuted for your light. And now that Saturn's moving into Aquarius, it's like we've got to resolve this stuff. And it's a big shift. It's that U-turn in our lives, going from feeling less than worthy, like less than worthless, if you can imagine that, into like receiving these messages, this memory of who we are. And that inside the reason why even though it's hard to allow ourselves to feel good right now, vibration, that's what's being asked of us right now. Is like, this is a beautiful process. We're held by the universe. This is a destiny energy. It's boomeranging because, it's that kind of slingshot energy. It's been pulling back, but nothing can stop ultimately the divine timeline of this spiritual ascension. And it's like full force ahead. I mean, think back to a week ago. Can you even remember who you were then? We're changing so rapidly. And all the medicine for it is to be in the present moment with what's happening and receive these energies into your life. And it's hard, like I said, at first, because all these responsibility contracts come up it's interesting, the isolation thing, because these souls really do need to be very careful about going out when you go to the store and stuff like that and be around other people. It's like, no, give yourself permission to be in these vibrational frequencies, because that's why you're here. And you finally get why you're here. That's this Uranus and Taurus sextile the North Node, this radical shift in your self-worth of oh, I have exactly the tools I need to stand up for my community right now, which might mean staying away from them in physical form, but holding this vibration that that everything's okay. And that not only is it okay, it's freaking beautiful. And so it's just such a shift. Now, part of the reason why this is so amplified right now is because Mercury is now at 3 degrees Pisces. And it's coming into this sextile. It's third and final, so this Mercury retrograde going back over the Pisces is like, oh, well, maybe this will give us some insight into the Aquarian age, right? Back and forth over the Aquarius Pisces cusp. And so now it's had this is its third and final trine with the North Node. And so the third pass, when planets do a retrograde and they make these transits, the third pass is where you get the gift of it, where you get the insight, where you get the meaning of it. And so this trine, it's really, really fascinating, because we do have Chiron still an exact square with the nodes, right? So that's our tension, the deep psychic healing that needs to happen for us to move forward, right? And that's deep psychic healing around who we really are in Aries, Chiron in Aries, and that permission to be who we really are and exist on the planet, right? But then we've got this Mercury sextile the North Node for the third pass, Mercury sextile Uranus for the third pass. Okay, so it's really beautiful because Mercury is in a sextile with Uranus, it's in a sextile with the North Node. No, I mean, it's trine the North Node, sorry, and sextile the South Node. Okay, and then Uranus and saying, hey, we can do this. And we are creating a new star grid. And what's that star grid made of? Your consciousness, being willing to receive this light and let yourself be in these higher vibrational frequencies and let yourself value who you are as a soul and what you've gone through, your dedication and devotion to this earth evolution and to humanity, and being present with your memory somewhere inside of you of this spiritual ascension process, and maybe letting go of these old stories of the Atlantean time and that our power of consciousness is going to cause destruction on the planet. And I've been shown again and again in Atlantean past lives where it wasn't our power. It was the misuse of power, but it was the small amount of corrupt, very dark energies that used the technologies as an actual weapon. That's the misuse of technologies. And we've been told all this time that we misused our power with crystal technology and plasma technology, right? And it was a setup, right? And then that put us in this martyr energy over this last period of time with the Piscean age around taking on the garbage, the dark, dark energies of suffering and trauma of the earth, and why we've had such an intense last few years as these energies of trauma had to come up to be healed in these souls in particular, while the collective just went along with their life. And then these souls are like crippled by these energies, right? And now you understand why, because you had to let go of those old stories so you could be right here, right now, doing what you're meant to do, the right time, at the right time on the planet, at the right place. And there is an energy around these souls being scattered around, and it's hard because we'd like to come together, but we've been programmed to fear our own potency. So if two of us are together, it's way more potent, right? But now it's important. So it's like we're anchoring these energies and this possibility and this light that's coming in our communities. And no wonder we've been surrounded by people who are asleep, because now we're playing a role for that community, right? And so that's kind of these messages coming in. So Mercury coming into sextile with Uranus, trine the North Node, Uranus sextile the North Node, trine the South Node. It's just like this, again, this star pattern of like a triangle and a star, and it's like a gem. And so Uranus and Taurus, that makes Uranus and Taurus about uncovering our hidden jewels, our worth within, our deep spiritual soul gifts that we've worked on for many, many lifetimes and whole evolutions to use right here, right now. So that's that radical shift in self-worth that's available with Uranus sextile the North Node, and the North Node in Cancer, just a few more degrees in Cancer before it moves into Gemini. And so it's like, receive, receive, receive. Let the light in. Let yourself be in these higher frequency vibrations. Do whatever you can do. And maybe this is part of the lockdown on other levels, is giving you time and space to allow these energies, to just let your mind be present and not constantly thinking about what you need to do next. And, this busy, busy world, it's constant distraction, and use this energy to just let this expansion spiritual experience happen, because it's happening right now. Because tomorrow, so today, Mars is at 23 degrees Capricorn and Jupiter's still at 22. Okay, so we've got Jupiter 22, Mars 23, Pluto 24. Tomorrow, Mars goes to 24, exact conjunction with Pluto. So tomorrow's like a peak of these energies. And so if you can, and it's interesting, the 22nd, the 2-2 master builder number, building a new world, a gateway to a whole new possibility, gateway portal to a whole new dimensional reality. And most of humanity, that freaks them out, right? Because they haven't done the spiritual work that you've done. They haven't had these experiences over evolutionary time, but you have. And now you need to be true and good to you, which means allowing yourself to feel joy and expansion and know who you are as a soul. Like, go into this ceremonial place where you're being showered with blessings, that the blessings are reminding you who you are in your spiritual self, and receive yourself back home, receive your divine timeline, receive this beautiful expansive energies, and let all of that stuff happen, because that's the, that healing crisis, and we don't know what's going on. It doesn't add up. A whole country on lockdown for a very benign disease doesn't make sense, right? Whole world, but something else is going on, and we don't need to know that. We need to know this energy, and be present with this. So tomorrow, very powerful peak energy. I'll be back with another update, and then Jupiter will be moving to 23 tomorrow. So it's like Mars and Jupiter just moving right over, Mars right on top of Pluto, Jupiter right next door. And it's kind of like, okay, here we go. Are you ready? Get this ball rolling. And just keep in mind, like, whoa, just a couple days ago, I felt like a different person, right? So it's happening super fast. Don't hold on to any certain way you feel. Feel your feelings, right? But like, definitely focus on this bigger picture and letting this light come in, and don't get attached to anything that's happening. Stay away from panicky people so that you can be true to yourself and care enough about yourself, to hold this vibration of what is true. Some part of you knows is true, and trust, and let that light in. And so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another Gaia daily update. And maybe you want to consider, I haven't gotten the information out there yet, but I will later today, about a new moon. The new moon is very potent and powerful, happening. It's on Tuesday. The live activation is going to be on Monday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, exactly 12 hours before the new moon in Aries. And that's really powerful because you've got the sun and the moon. Now the sun's in Aries, which is a big shift of the energies. It's a little easier to hold the possibility of what's really happening. And then the sun and the moon will come together with Chiron and square the nodes for around that new moon. And so really powerful energies. And of course, tomorrow, Saturn moving into the sign of Aquarius. And there's a powerful energy here going on with the souls that have Saturn in Aquarius and Saturn return that's happening for these souls. Like, they've been on the earth, but they haven't really been who they really are. And the Saturn return is like pulling their bigger self into their body. And that's like, Saturn only makes it to 1 degree this year. So it's like dabbling its toes in the water of the Aquarian age, but it's giving us a glimpse of what it is we're trying to do, and a huge activation for certain soul groups on all levels. So, that new moon is potent, and maybe you'll consider joining the live activation at 3 p.m. Mountain Time on Monday, the 23rd. So I look forward to seeing you there or on the next update, and just let that light in and receive the blessings that want to come to you. And can you allow that to be your work instead of the soup of the collective garbage? You thought that was your work. You thought that's how to help humanity. Now you understand your work is to let yourself have your crown chakra activation, and be in those higher vibrational frequencies, and allow yourself that joy, and coming back to be a child of the universe that's held and cared for and guided through this experience. So thanks so much for being here and being you. So much gratitude coming in for these souls, and keep up the great work. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.